What's happening, YouTube? It's your homie S. Akuma coming back to you with another video. And today's video is round 2 from the Only Game in Town's tournament that was held a couple of Saturdays ago in Somerville, New Jersey. Shout out to Bacon Ice Cream Productions for helping to hold this tournament and get it together. I think there were 12 players in the event. And this round, as you can see, we have Insecticons versus General Megatron. So this deck is an iteration of a 3-wide deck similar to like 3-wide Optimus Prime, Flame War. Aimless is a deck now, over Aimless over Flame War. But this time we're going to see General Megatron hold the fort, and let's see how it goes. So the 3-wide Optimus deck has a really good matchup against Insecticons. Let's see how the 3-wide Megatron deck does with Flame War, spreading this tough one to everyone and just being very blue heavy, which is something that bugs hate. And I'm pretty sure that Henry's deck, shout out to Henry from Team Gradelock, that's who's piloting the deck. And actually, something I can spoil now here. They actually both ended up making top 4. I want to say definitely the Bugs player. I forgot his name. Keep forgetting his name. I gotta put some respect on his name and remember his name next time. But I see him all the time. Cool guy. He busted my ass a while back when I played Sentinels. Said he watched one of my videos and remembered me talking about like attacking in the Sentinel Prime first and all this other stuff. So he's definitely a good player. Yeah, he's been sticking to Bugs for a while now. Good old Bugs. I hate that deck, but hey, it is what it is. Great deck though. Still is a great deck. Give props where props due. So anyway, enough rambling for me. We're gonna get started with the match. Looks like the Insecticon player wins the dice roll, and he's going first, flipping Scrapnel and attacking Megatron. Now, I'm not 100% sure about this play because I've heard that I think Vector Sigma talked about not flipping Scrapnel, actually, because in this situation, Flame War is going to get an easy 3 attack on the Scrapnel. So it would have actually probably been better for Scrapnel to attack in alt mode on Flame War and, get some type of damage and make Henry from, Henry, the Megatron player, do some work to actually get some damage on Scrapnel. But that's not the case. So here, Aimless is going to attack and get an easy 3 damage on that Scrapnel. Highly doubt the Insecticon player is going to put a lot of effort into attacking his Aimless this turn. Well, I don't want to say highly doubt, but his second attacker is probably going to be Chop Shop. He wants to save Barrage and Kickback for later attacks, since those are his strongest characters, or strongest attackers, I should say. But we'll see what he ends up planning to do. While he decides to play, like I said, both of these players both ended up making top 4. The only rounds that I have recorded are rounds 1 through 4. And yeah, they split the top 4. So congratulations to the top 4. So siding with the flip here. Flips Barrage. No action or upgrade. Wow. Okay. So flips Barrage. Attacks with Chop Shop is going to be 6. Might at least get in for 1. And yeah, about that. Blocks for 7 looks like. So that attack is deflected. Henry flips a good couple of green. Well, not a good couple. Excuse me. He flips a extra padding here. And I like extra padding. I like extra padding, and I don't know if he's playing attack drones, but in this deck, because in this situation, like right here, he can get an extra padding. And then what's nice is if he's playing hunker down, he can hunker down the General Megatron and get another extra padding, equipped it on, since extra padding allows you to have 3 in one armor slot, or in the armor slot rather. And then it helps to trigger his arm hovercraft effect, mid to late game. Swindled. He controls all Decepticons, so since he does, he's able to draw 2 cards. And, well, excuse me, he could play the card no matter what, draw 2 and discard 2. But because he's also playing all Decepticons, he's able to activate another upgrade if he has one. So let's see what he plans here. He discards Battlefield Report, and I can't tell that looks the bigger they are. Maybe can't tell. There's a slight glare to the left over there. So maybe, okay, Insecticon players being a good sport, or a cool sport, I should say, not a good sport necessarily, because he doesn't have to remind him. So he's reminding him, he's asking him, I guess, if he's going to activate Swindle's extra effect to play another upgrade, which he decides to do. So he puts reinforced plating on Megatron. So now that Megatron has tough 3 essentially with the help of Flame War. And he puts a Scoundrel's Blaster on Flame War. And Flame War is going to attack probably Chop Shop. Yep, that's exactly what happens. He's ignoring the Scrapnel right now. Scrapnel's not doing much. Get some sizable or a decent amount of damage on Chop Shop. Now, Kickback's probably going to be the next in line to attack here because Barrage only gets the bold 2 if the enemy character has any damage on it. And the Flame War and Aimless have no damage on them right now. Speaking of damage, I think a card like Swarm is like really bad in a matchup where the opponent is playing a Battlemaster, because all of the Swarm will go on the Battlemaster most likely. So if the Insecticon player were to play Swarm right now and flip 5 oranges, you know, 2-piece to Tyranny and, you know, a blank and a Treasure Hunt, he'll put all 5 on the Aimless almost 1000%. Not almost. Almost 1000%. Yeah, that's still above 100%. So, okay, Kickback's going in. Looks like he has a grenade launcher. It's a pretty big attack there. Flip 2 double oranges plus a couple more oranges. Looking like 12 or 13. 5, 9, yeah, 13. And he's attacking Flame War. Will Flame War survive? I think she will by 1. Oh no, she dies. Never mind. I can't count. Maybe it was 14. Doesn't decide to get back anything. So killing that Flame War there slows down Megatron's alt mode effect to be able to flip and deal 2 damage, or excuse me, a damage for each weapon. So, okay, interesting. Equipment Enthusiast. So has 2 upgrades out, and when you play that action, you are able to draw a card for each upgrade that you have on the battlefield. So he drew 2 cards. So it's essentially a pep talk this turn. Would have been a universal network access if his Flame War lived last turn, but it didn't, unfortunately. And since Megatron is damaged, he has that 1 damage on him. He is able to meet the requirements of Energon-X. So now Megatron's stacked at 10 attack with tough 2. 2 defense and tough 2. So looking pretty good here. Flips Megatron to deal 1 damage. So he only controls 1 weapon in total. Doesn't have to just be weapons on him. It could be weapons on Aimless and Flame War. But since he only has 1 weapon total, he's only able to deal 1 damage. He deals it to Scrapnel and he's attacking. And, okay, yeah, gets rid of Chop Shop this turn. So now the Insecticon player is in position for ISF play, but probably it's not a good ISF play because, you know, playing I Still Function on Chop Shop's not strong. Ideally, you want to ISF on Barrage or Kickback, or if you're playing like an orange versus orange matchup, you could probably ISF anybody, and, you know, the attack value is just going to be good no matter what, especially if you're going for a kill. So I don't expect to see a I Still Function this turn. But I do expect to see an attack on Megatron. So I could have sworn he had a bashing shield in his flips, and I missed if he picked that up or not. And if he didn't, then he must have one in his hand already. But yep, bashing shield, definitely get rid of the armor. It's kind of slick how Henry has that set up here. I'm gonna have to call him out on that. I'm gonna have to ask him. He put the Energon-X over the reinforced plating. You know what? That's very easy for your opponent to miss that you have an armor on there. He should spread those out. So that's something I can see him definitely getting called on in the tournament. Henry, you gotta be careful, bro. You still the homie though. All right, so Bold 2, attacking with 9 Bold 2. So it looks like 12 total, obviously going into Megatron because he has damage on him. Flips a decent amount of blue, only takes 5. Well, I don't say only 5. That's a pretty decent chunk. Everyone stands. So Henry's left in a kind of peculiar situation here. If he has another armor, he's in a good position to possibly flip Megatron and attack and KO the Barrage before the Barrage gets a second attack. Barrage is definitely the strongest of all the Insecticons. If you had to choose between attacking Barrage or Kickback, usually it should be Barrage if you can get rid of him. In this situation, he could. So he plays Urban Camo on his General Megatron. It doesn't look like he's going to go in with Megatron this turn. He has a free hit on Scrapnel to... Well, it wouldn't KO Scrapnel because Scrapnel actually has 1 more defense now. So I was going to say Aimless can attack Scrapnel and get rid of it, but now Scrapnel has 1 defense. So 3 minus 1 to be 2, so he wouldn't be able to... Scrapnel still live with 1 health. So we'll see what he decides here. He is definitely going with the Aimless. He's holding it, so... All right, Aimless looks like he's attacking in the Barrage. Flips an orange, so that's nice. So if he would attack the Scrapnel, he would have killed it. But, of course, you can't know that unless you're playing Shockwave and you know that's on the top. Attacks for 4, gets in there for 3 damage. We're trading a improvised shield for a bashing shield. That urban camo is protected from bashing shield because urban camo is a utility. All right. Wow, that aimless still has no damage on it? No way. Yeah, from what it looks like. And there's a swarm play. Exactly what I was talking about. Let's see if what I was talking about happens. Yep, puts all 4 damage on aimless. Doesn't care. Well, not that you necessarily don't care, but it's nice to, because you want him to die eventually. So blue battle or battle masters and heavy blue decks play a different role. You don't necessarily want them to die right away, but you're still okay if they do get KO'd. But mid to late game, when they die, is more ideal. Attacks with Scribner on the aimless. Let's see if he gets any damage on it. Attacking for 7. We got the tough 3. Reshuffle is his deck. So far, he only has 3 defense. So 3 versus. So if he flips no more blue, then the aimless is KO'd, but that's probably not happening. Oh. So tough 4. I think he's missing, or tough 3 and flip 2 more. He lives by 1, looks like. Yep, lives by 1. So this is essentially a wasted attack, unfortunately, because he has to attack into the Scrapnel. Unless he has direct damage. If he has like marksmanship, it's really good here because if he has a weapon and marksmanship, he can play marksmanship, kill the Scrapnel, or excuse me, pop the Scrapnel to 6, and then play a weapon and then flip Megatron to deal the last one to Scrapnel and kill it, and then potentially go after Kickback. But no, he plays his armor for his turn. Oh no, he already has a weapon on him, so he needs direct damage. See, that's confusing me. The fact that he has him in a line like that. Callous Leadership. All right. So heal 5 off the aimless. He heals all 5. Yeah, he has to. You can heal up to 5. It's just like Sludge. So the aimless had 7 damage on it. He can remove up to 5, just like I said, just like Sludge, and take all of the damage, even if it's more than enough to KO the aimless, and then still heal Megatron for 5. Or yeah, from that, which is nice. So yeah, the Scrapnel is definitely about it there. All he needed to deal was 3. Scrapnel can't take more than 3, but that's just enough to KO it. And now Henry just needs to pray that he lives next turn. Well, actually, it's kind of unfortunate. He needs like 2 turns to live because he has to survive both of these attacks. Everyone stands, and then he can kill one character for sure, but then the other character still gets another big swing. So he just needs to hope that the Insecticon player doesn't have a lot of tempo going into these next 2 turns, or it might be over. And Megatron is also in his weaker mode in terms of defense. 2 versus the 3 in all mode. Oh, another Bastion Shield. But we did see he got the Bastion Shield earlier, so we knew he had that. So Bastion Shield, but he still has tough 1, so that might hold him. Ooh, Supercharge, all right. So that Megatron still unfortunately has 1 damage, so that means that Barrage will get the Bolt 2. Not so good flips from the beginning, but then he got the Supercharge, so still pretty decent. 6 attack, 11 total looks like. Let's see what Megatron can defend for. Tough 1. Defending for 4, so he takes 7. All right, let's see what this Kickback can do. Yep, cards are still in play. Oh boy. Okay. Uh-huh. Yeah. All right. Well, 2, 4, what is that, 10? Tough 1. Looks like he's defending for 6, so he takes 4. So a pretty big hurting. If the Insecticon player, if he has one-shot stand, the game is over without even needing to attack. So, because General Megatron is in that range now, so. So extra padding. So a lot of defense here. So hopefully he can, get rid of Barrage and then protect from Kickback. So we'll see what happens here. Didn't really get a chance to use Megatron's effect that much this game, but right here it's relevant. So if he attacks next turn and then somehow lives, he'll deal 1 automatically with Megatron's effect. Megatron says if this character has 3 or more upgrades on it, deal 1 damage to each enemy. So it's an armed hovercraft once the Megatron's loaded. So that's why he's playing extra padding. If he has at least 2 extra paddings and 1 weapon, or excuse me, a weapon on Megatron, that meets the requirements for using the bot mode effect. But unfortunately, he has to wait until next turn. Now I sit here and look at it like I wish it was at the end of the turn. That would have been nice, or more ideal. Make him make it more playable. Yeah, the end of the turn would have been a lot better. So he decides to use the effect flip and deal 1. And now he's doing this because the Megatron's still going to kill whoever he attacks. So he doesn't necessarily, and then plus even the next turn using that arm hovercraft effect doesn't matter because he'll still kill whichever bug again. He needs to do everything he can to survive this turn. So right now he has 3 defense with tough 2, and he's trying to survive Kickback's next attack. And I'll repeat that again. The Megatron was at 9 attack even in alt mode, but he flipped to alt mode specifically to, oh wow, what a good swarm. That's game just like that. Nothing you can do about that. Yeah, that's overkill. That's game. So yeah, he flipped to alt mode because the 9 attack was still enough to kill the barrage, and he needed to do everything he could to defend from Kickback's next attack. So with the 3 defense and tough 2, that would give him a better chance than 2 defense in Megatron's bot mode in tough 2. Looks like we're doing some side decking here. So again, the rules for side decking, how this goes is the winner must side deck first. If they're side decking any characters, they do so right then and there. And then I would say usually after side decking the character, we both can still side deck our battle cards, because you're able to see your opponent's side deck character, but you're not able to see their battle cards at all. So there's no reason why both players can't side deck their battle cards at the same time to help with time, because there's only 50 minutes in each round. And I don't see WOTC giving us any more time, boosting the time up to an hour or 55 minutes. Like it was mentioned in Kent Nagel's, one of his recent articles, you're just going to have to learn to play faster. And that's what playtesting is for. You definitely want to practice your deck, know your deck you're playing, like not in an event like Gen Con or even Origins, just let me pick up this new deck and just go into an event and play. Now, I say that for every deck except Bugs. Bugs, there's probably a couple things you can just show someone and then just go and just wreck face because it's Bugs. But other than that, you should know your deck pretty well before going into a tournament. So definitely practice at home. I do a lot of solitaire myself. I don't have anyone to really test with besides my boy Maurice when he's able to come over. And I do get some reps in with Sum 41 as well. So besides that, though, when I'm able to do that, I do a lot of solitaire. That's where my most efficient testing comes from right now. And yeah, it's been working so far. I don't skew my decision making or anything like that. I could cut this part of the video, but I guess I'll talk to you guys for a second while they're side decking. I could skew, and you get to see some like live action of everybody side decking and just kind of look at the whole atmosphere of competitive play. So anyway. Yeah, I shadow play a lot, solitaire in my decks, and a lot of my decks go through a bug test pretty much, and all that means is me or the bug threshold rather, and it's like whatever deck that I built, can it beat Bugs? Because Bugs is still going to be the most played deck going forward until another deck like it comes out. Now there are some 4-wide decks, sure, but none of them synergize like Bugs. So, but anyway, I'll play some games against Bugs, and I won't make any different plays for the Bug player that a real, in a real life tournament that Bug player wouldn't make. If they have Reckless Charge, Grenade Launcher, I'm not going to not activate one or something like that just to let my character live. And then, you know what I mean? And like, oh, okay, well, and just try to like make all these, different edits or whatever. So my deck that I'm testing wins. I make all the correct plays still. I said this before in the past, in Yu-Gi-Oh! It's a lot different. Shadow playing in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a lot harder to do because knowing your opponent's hand is a very big deal. There's trap cards, there's spell cards, and things like that. Is so different from this game. If I look at your hand and see you have a grenade launcher, reckless charge, the only thing I could really probably do differently is attack with another character, which I wouldn't normally do if I didn't know the cards that you had in your hand. So if I see that you have there's nothing I can do about your reckless charge or a grenade launcher if I don't have espionage or security checkpoint, etc. So it's a lot easier to shadow play right now. Now, as we get more cards and, you know, more different mechanics and things like that in the game, by the way, WOTC, I'm calling it now. Since everybody likes to call stuff, I'm calling something myself. Field spells. We're going to get some type of field cards eventually. That'd be pretty cool. So it looks like these guys are ready for round 2, or game 2 rather. Yeah, I hope as the game grows, you know, more people start playing around my area and stuff, and I could get a little more of a community people. Besides, I'm not knocking the guys I play with at the store. You know, like I said, I definitely get some reps in, and it helps because it doesn't, like, the type of decks they come up with, Sum 41 I'm talking about, shout out to them. They come up with some really interesting ideas, and I mean, like, even when I go to like at Origins, I played against a whole bunch of, like, you could say quote unquote random things that weren't like the, you know, the norm or whatever. Now we can say we kind of have an established meta after seeing the top deck list at Origins, and, you know, those decks will just be vamped up, you know, to be fixed up for, you know, with the wave 3 alterations and go from there. So all right, so Aimless is going in. So keep in mind, the Insecticon player started game 1 by flipping Scrapnel and attacking. Now Henry, the Megatron player, is starting, and he's going to flip Flame War and attack with Aimless. Aimless has a strong tough 4. Not a lot's getting through this turn, especially with the Insecticon player only having an action or upgrade. Speaking of Sum 41, please check out their channel. They're up and coming, doing their thing. I got a good couple of games on their channel playing my Steel Jack deck, or Steel Wheel deck, I call it. Whichever. Features Cliff Jumper, Wheeljack, and Lionizer. I think that deck is very powerful. Excited to play that at Origins, at GenCon. Alright, so no action or upgrade, looks like. He just goes in, flips Scrapnel again, and attacks into Aimless. So probably not getting through for anything. I see a Dampening Field, so that looks like a side deck card. I'm assuming Aimless blocked for 7+ because he's not putting any damage counters on it. Sorry for that glare. But yeah, Sum 41, they come up with some outside of the box stuff, so can't front on them. It's pretty cool. All my decks just feature Lionizer. I'm simple. Ooh, security checkpoint. So he's going to lose his Energon Axe, but he's going to get rid of an Improvised Shield and Bashing Shield from the Insecticon player, leaving him with I Still Function in, what's that, Incoming Transmission. So he flips Megatron. So getting rid of that Bashing Shield was good. Now, if the Bug player is not playing 3 Bashing Shield, well, then he only has the 1 left to deal with, like a card like that, the extra padding. And I have a feeling he's not playing Hunker Down. I do not remember seeing Hunker Down at all. So I would personally play Hunker Down in a deck like this, even if it only caters to the 1 tank, your Megatron. But it's so good just to be able to bring back, you know, armor, especially after it gets Bashing Shield. It's that war of attrition with Bashing versus the armors. And they get rid of the 1, and it's like, okay, sure. Then you just bring it back with Hunker Down. Love that card. All right, so draws for turn. First things first, plays Incoming Transmission. We know he has I Still Function in his hand. Speaking of knowing cards, that's one thing to pay attention to as well. I noticed a lot of people at Origins, they did not look at their opponent's scrap pile. They didn't look at their own scrap pile to see how many double oranges or double blues they had left, or potentially, like, if they had how many whites left in their deck to extend their flips if they were trying to hit a certain number or whatever, or even remembering cards in their opponent's hand. Definitely remember those things. You're able to, in this game, like, see, in Yu-Gi-Oh, you're not able to, well, you used to be able to, but you're not able to write down your opponent's hand or anything like that. You're able to do that in this game, apparently. So I take advantage. If you don't have a good memory or you're not thinking about it, you should, because it's very important to remember what they have in their hand. Yes, it's easy to remember he has ISF in his hand, but 2, 3, 4 turns later, you could simply forget, you know. So take every advantage that you can get. Legal advantage. All right, so he plays the extra padding. Does he have another one? He does. Okay, so now the Megatron, oh, it sets a secret action. Doing some cool stuff here. So Scoundrel's Blaster on Megatron. He hasn't used a flip this turn. Will he use it to burn? He will. So it's essentially a zap this turn. We're going to zap the Scrapnel. And Megatron with 8 attack is attacking into probably Scrapnel. I'm going to guess. Yep. Attack Scrapnel. Scrapnel's out of here. Now, I saw Dampening Field. That's another thing to pay attention to. When your opponent sets a secret action, look in their scrap pile, see what secret actions they do have in their scrap pile, and it may help you better make a decision on what your play is next turn. Because if that's Infiltrate, you might want to hold back on playing your Peace Through Tyranny or Supercharge or whatever you have for the turn. Now, if it's something that you need to activate and take the gamble, do it. But if it's something you can hold and you can just wait for another turn, possibly hold it. Because remember, secret actions get scrapped at the end of the opponent's turn. Or excuse me, the end of your turn. Kind of wish they would stay. But I guess that'd be too good because every turn you can just set more secret actions so they trip it. So I'm trying to make them broken here. But yeah, back to my point about checking your opponent's grave and stuff. People just did a lot of my turn, your turn. Make my guy super big, attack. Make your guy super big. Hopefully I can defend and live. There's more to the game than that. You know, looking for the information in your opponent's scrap pile and stuff is definitely important. All right, so anyway, so let's see what's happening. Yep, it is Dampening Field. So Barrage is attacking into Flame War this turn, but he can only flip. He can't flip more than 4, but this is pretty weak here because Barrage still meets his requirements, still is able to at least flip the for the bowl 2. So it was the same thing no matter what. Now, Kickback, I have to lean up into the screen because it looks like, yeah, Kickback's not in the mode he wants to be in. So that's interesting. I don't know how that happened. I kind of missed that. But so we're only, I think like the only time Dampening Field is good is against Kickback, clearly, or against, like, let's say they were to happen to have played Supercharge or whatever for that turn. I think Dampening Field really shines against decks that are playing Lionizer. You know, like, it's the best feeling in the world to, it will be the best feeling in the world to Dampening Field a Wheeljack with a Lionizer. That's for sure. But, so anyway, so okay, so he flips General Megatron for turn. Now, General Megatron's effect will be more powerful here because he has 3 upgrades on the General, and if the Bug player doesn't get rid of one of the General's upgrades next turn, he'll be able to arm Hovercraft on his next turn. And that's 1 damage to each, so it's a lot more relevant in this situation. So it looks like that'll happen unless the Bug player analyzes what I just said, or he realizes that and wants to even get rid of I mean, it might even make that big of a difference, but hey, a Hovercraft is a Hovercraft. So reinforced plating on Flame War. Now that's interesting. Flame War only has 2 health left. I feel like that reinforced plating would have been better on Aimless to have Aimless survive even longer, because Aimless would have Tough 6, which is insane. Tough 6, definitely nothing's getting through that attack, so that's essentially a wasted attack. I would kind of let Flame War rock at this point, but that's it. That's his decision, so we'll see what happens. I mean, Flame War still does have Tough 3, so I mean, who knows? We'll see. Incoming transmission. Oh, you know what? Okay, I guess I can see why he attacked with Kickback in bot mode, because I think Kickback's effect says if he deals damage, you can heal 1 off one of your Insecticons. So that's relevant. But I'm not sure if he did that or not. I missed that. You know, doing too much other jibber jabber. Flipping Chop Shot for the turn. Not a lot of plays coming from the Bug player. He's playing like an action, but he's not really playing an action and upgrade every turn, it seems like. Maybe he's holding back for, you know, saving it for Megatron because that's the most important one. But if you look, Megatron has no damage on him right now. So Henry looks like he's in a really good position. That's interesting. He attacks with Chop Shot with the weapon. Ideally, normally you put the static laser on another character and attack with it and then move it to Chop Shot later on. But I'm guessing he's assuming that whatever, if he puts it on Barrage, he doesn't want to do that because it leaves his strongest character to die too soon. And putting it on Kickback would kill Kickback, so I take that back. I guess he has to play Static Laser here. But Aimless is flipping 1,000 cards. Probably blocking it all. It's at 7. The Chop Shop's attacking for 9. And, okay, nope. He does get 1. So, Aimless, wow. Aimless blocked for 8. 8 with that tough 4. It's crazy. Henry is top decking, or he has 2 cards in hand? Yeah, he only has 2 cards in hand. Yep, and that's what I was just talking about. The Arm Hovercraft effect. So, 1 to everything. Definitely nice. Security checkpoint. Ooh, hits 2 upgrades. Leads him back down to that ISF that we knew he had from turns ago. That was a good security checkpoint. And now he can just leave that General Megatron. That Megatron is going to do that 3 again next turn. So, again, Henry's looking in to be in a very solid position right now. Wonder if he's thinking, should he attack with Megatron this turn? I don't think so. Killing Chop Shop's not that big of a deal here. I think he's going to have to sacrifice the Flame War. Well, I want to say sacrifice. Who knows? I mean, the Bug player only has ISF in his hand. Okay, he wants to read Chop Shop. Bug player only has ISF in hand, so whether Barrage or Kickback attacks Flame War next turn, Flame War might survive. But you know what? Take that back. It probably survived Kickback. It may not survive Barrage, but I mean, you never know. He can flip all of like a whole bunch of double blues. We'll see what happens. But yeah, definitely ideal to attack with Flame War here into Chop Shop. Attacking for only 3, but Chop Shop will take 1. All right, flipping Chop Shop back for turn, and he's using the effect to... Oh, no, he's not. No, he is. Yep, scraps the static laser to heal 1. Oh, okay, I thought it had to heal 1 off Chop Shop. He healed 1 off Kickback, so okay, I guess you can do that. That's the thing. Kind of can't tell what the card is. He had ISF and he top decked something. We're about to find out. He might play the ISF this turn. Oh no, so he sees it. Okay, wow, he did top deck. Okay, well, he put the ramming speed, looks like, in the scrap pile, but he shouldn't because it still should be in play this turn. And Barrage or Kickback may make him deck out, so they need to be careful of that, but it is what it is. Okay, he was able to draw a card as well off of Chop Shop too. I forgot about the draw card effect. So he drew 2 cards. So he drew ramming speed, just used his flip for the turn, popped a extra padding from General Megatron, so Megatron can't use that effect next turn. And he's trying to get some heal here, but not ideal to be attacking with Kickback in this mode, even if it is trying to get the heal. But we'll see if he gets there. Flipping a lot for tough. He might still get some damage. So 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ooh, he takes 1. So he still lives within the heal. The Kickback gets to heal 1. Did he heal the 1 already? I don't think he did. He should have. Unless my commentary is just total ass and I just don't know what I'm talking about. But hey. Well, okay, so drew another extra padding, but he'll have to wait another turn in order to use General Megatron's effect. Oh, okay, so he's reminding him of the Kickback effect. Now, technically, in a tournament setting, Henry doesn't have to let that go, technically, because he forgot. The ruling on situations like these, like something like, this is something else important to talk about. So, Kickback's effect, not Kickback, like Reckless Charge or Wheeljack's effect, that's mandatory. You know, when you play an upgrade on Wheeljack or another card while Wheeljack is in alt mode, you're supposed to draw a card and discard a card. That's mandatory. But if both players happen to forget, the most that's going to happen, like what happened to me even once at the tournament, was the head judge gave us both a warning. I wasn't paying attention to what he was doing for whatever reason, and clearly he wasn't either. So we both got a warning. But ideally, overall, like what the rules say, the current floor rules, that if it's forgotten, it's just simply forgotten. So if I play Reckless Charge on my character and don't take the 3 on my character, whether I meant it intentionally or not, if we go 5 turns later and all of a sudden you remember, hey, you were supposed to take 3 on your one guy, he should have been dead 2 turns ago. It's like you're kind of SOL, unfortunately. So make sure you're definitely paying attention and reminding your opponents of especially cards like Reckless Charge. Other things like Wheeljack's a toss-up because, again, you know, if you both forget, it's like, I mean, what do? You can't really reverse the game state like that, especially turns ahead after we flip so many cards. So there's something to definitely pay attention to. So Kickback died at Megatron last turn. Megatron has 7 attack with Pierce 2. No, not the Pierce 2. Just 7 attack with the Scoundrel's Blaster. If you're wondering what the 3rd upgrade is under Megatron. So Treasure Hunt. Barrage has his work cut out for him right here. If I'm looking correctly, Megatron still has no damage on him. And it's Barrage versus the world right now. So I really would like to go back and see what in the heck happened that this board state is like this now. But safe to say General Megatron is going to take game 2. So Barrage is attacking. I'm going to assume Flame War. Yep. Oh, no, maybe not. No, he's attacking Megatron. Okay. Oh, yeah, because he didn't use the bolt, too. So, yeah. First damage on Megatron, puts 4 on Megatron, but everybody stands, and now he can send all his smaller attacks into Barrage, and Barrage has to attack whoever he sends in. And then now... excuse me. And then after that, then... the Megatron player get 2 attacks on Barrage. So, not looking good for the Bug player this game. Does nothing but just sends in, or he flips and then flips Megatron and sends Aimless in to attack Barrage. Only way I see the Bug player winning this game would be to zap the Flame War, to kill Flame War, and then either kill the Aimless. Well, no, killing the Aimless would be stupid. But attack the Aimless and then hope Megatron somehow can't kill Barrage for game. But as you can see, the Bug player scooped it up. And we're going to go ahead and move to game 3. So what do we see here? Game 1, we saw the Bug player flip Scrapnel and attack with Scrapnel. And the Megatron player got some easy attacks on the Scrapnel, or 1 easy attack, and then kind of just left it there. But that's 3 damage that was unnecessary. Because, again, what I was saying, if you leave Scrapnel in alt mode, Flame War, with the bigger they are, can do some damage, or Aimless with a weapon like Scoundrel's Blaster can do some damage. Other than that, the Scrapnel actually won't take damage for a while. So you could prioritize flipping Chop Shop or Aimless. Chop Shop, Barrage, or Kickback, potentially, to set up for future turns to attack the characters you really want to attack. That was the play that was done against me. Frenchie from Wrecker Rule, shout out to him. When I was playing Superion, this was before side decking. If you go back and look at a couple of videos ago, when he was playing Insecticons, that's exactly what happened. He kept Scrapnel in alt mode and, you know, had him there for like almost the entire game. So I put my focus on all the other characters, direct damage and all. And then when it was Superion versus his last character, who was Scrapnel, the Scrapnel had no damage on it. So Superion's massive with his 6 attack and Pierce 3, but I still had to get 3 attacks in no matter what. But I think I was able to get 2 attacks and direct damage in on it, luckily. So it looks like they're doing some talking here. Gonna start game 3 soon, I'm sure. And as you guys are watching this video, this same day, I normally don't post 2 videos in one day, but the first one, the Starscream deck profile, was initially for Monday. It was just very late because it's the only time I could get it in. And then I'm posting this tonight, but it'll lead in for tomorrow, Tuesday, July 23rd, 2019. But check out that Starscream deck profile. Hopefully I can get some gameplay with it soon. Gencons next week, so be prepared for a whole bunch of content from that. Deck profiles, you know, player profiles, although my first player profile is already taken and I need to get that done as well, so bear with me. But I want to get my player profile series started And of course, there's more gameplay. And yeah, so I want to see if I can at least get the finals recorded this time and make sure that the file's not corrupted. No matter what, hopefully I'll be able to do that. If not, it's all good. So, okay, taking a different line of play this time. So he does no flips whatsoever. He doesn't even flip Chop Shop. And sends Chop Shop into Megatron and gets there for 1. So we'll see how that goes this time around. Interesting. Start off with the initial flip Flame War. He gets 1 action or upgrade this turn. Something that's on my mind to say, I will say real quick. It's on my mind to mention that, thank God, to me personally, this game is still very ABC. Like I'm a very combo based player, and I love combo decks and stuff like that. So like cars and decks like Shockwave really catch my attention because there's so many different decision points that you can make, and I like trying to find and make the best decision every turn. With those type of decks. So with that being said, I'm glad this game is still in an ABC stage, despite cards like complex decks like Cars and Shockwave that I can play by myself and just test by myself now. But eventually, I know that I'm going to need a solid group of folks to be able to test with on a at a level of like when I go to these events, even if I have to, I guess, necessarily give my deck to someone else to play or whatever. Now, the only other thing that gets skewed there is if they don't play it as well as I would have played it or make the plays I would have made that are necessarily correct, quote unquote. That's going to be tough. But I have faith that the game will grow and more people will start playing. And who knows, maybe I might run into some of my friends from Yu-Gi-Oh! And get up with them. That'd be cool. But yeah, I'm glad the game is still very simple, to where it's like, damn, okay, playing myself isn't going to work anymore. But anyway, enough from me. So we got a reinforced plating on Flame War. He's prioritizing trying to keep Flame War alive because she is still, even with her tough 1, she's still easily targeted down. Erratic Lightning. Best equipment to put on Scrapnel because the -1 defense on Erratic Lightning still makes him 0 defense. He doesn't lose another defense, I don't think. So it's static like that. But he's attacking to an Aimless who has tough 4. So he's probably... Okay, he gets in for 2 at least. But blocking for 8 with somebody that has 0 defense is nuts. I haven't seen an arm hovercraft from Henry at all this entire match. I wonder if he even plays it. He has 2 characters that are ranged. Aimless is always ranged. And then Megatron's ranged in both modes. So I feel like if you're not main decking it, at least side deck it. If that's even viable, I don't know. But... Okay, so we're playing a Scoundrel's Blaster, and there we go. That security checkpoint again. And, ooh, big whiff this time. I saw a little too fast. I was kind of trying to look at both of their hands at the same time. That didn't work out. But it was a whiff, though. He hit no upgrades out of the Insecticon player's hand. But he's attacking with Flame War into Scratnel, who's definitely going to take 3. It'd be the craziest thing ever. You plan your attack, and normally your attack value is whatever it is, and that's gonna 1000% kill a bug. And then like you flip exact amount, and then they flip a blue. How would you feel? Got rid of that Swarm. I don't blame him. Swarm is not good against matchups that are playing Aimless. So that's something to think about, because like that, I recently switched Hot Rod for Aimless to test Aimless in the 3-wide Optimus deck, and that's relevant because the Swarm is a very powerful card that helps keep them in the game. I say the 3-wide Prime deck has a good matchup, so Bashing Shield on the reinforced plating, and he's going in. Reckless Charge, kickback, he's trying to one-hit KO this Flame War. Let's see what happens. Ooh, not that good, but okay, decent. It's a 7-11. So Flame War survives here. But yeah, so I played Aimless, and that's very relevant because I say the 3-wide Optimus deck has a very good matchup against Insecticons, but Swarm is one of those cards that can really still put the matchup in their favor towards the end. The games are still usually very close, but it's just not a landslide like it is with a 3-wide orange deck versus the 4-wide bug deck. So that's the biggest thing with that matchup. And playing Aimless allows you to easily always just put all the damage from Swarm onto Aimless, because, you know, once it is KO'd, and you can even prioritize putting the Aimless on Flame War, because Flame War is now a threat with 6 attack with the potential to deal that extra 3 damage with Aimless. So, not saying 100% Aimless is better than Hot Rod, but that is a pro that he has over Hot Rod. Maybe Hot Rod's still just better, being a 4-10-2, tough one, but I feel like all your one-shot stands and all that stuff easily, gladly go on Aimless, you know, with no problem. So no play this turn from Henry. He just goes to attack with Megatron into... Okay, gets rid of Chop Chop. Or not Chop Chop, Kickback, rather. I was just going to say, did I do so much talking that I missed Kickback getting KO'd? What in the hell happened? Kickback was off screen for a while. Okay. I'm like, hold up. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Hold the phone. Okay. So flips Barrage's turn. Any character that Barrage attacks this turn will allow him to trigger his Bolt 2 ability, because all of Henry's characters are damaged. It's a rather long matchup for, I mean, this isn't like, you know, I mean, I guess Insecticons versus Blue, I guess I could say this is, we're hitting about almost 50 minutes here, so they look like they're about to go to time here soon. It's kind of surprising. Enforcement Times gets rid of the whatever upgrade that, or the Scoundrel's Blaster on the Megatron. So now Megatron's kind of naked over there, not able to use its Arm Hovercraft effect anytime soon. Work Overtime, going to draw a couple cards. You draw up to 4 cards. So if you have 3 cards in hand, you play Work Overtime. You have 2 now. You'll draw into 2 to hit up to 4. So Barrage with 6 attack, Bolt 2 is probably going to attack Megatron. Yep. Flips a white, so he will be flipping 2 more cards. A lot of orange. This looks like 11 attack. Tough one from Flame War. Pretty nice block. Blocking for 6. Takes 5. Hope you guys are cool with my laid back commentary here. So this is interesting here. Also keep in mind something, when both players flip their cards, with green icon cards being in the game now, the turn player that's attacking, the turn player, the person that's attacking, will get their green card first. So in this situation, it could be awkward. The orange player, if he does get his bashing shield, then Henry may not even bother getting extra padding, because it's just going to get it's just going to, you know, get destroyed next turn. Now, if Henry does get the extra padding, the bug player can't go back and say, okay, well, I'll get my bashing shield. That's one thing that's also very specific. So that's something to pay attention to. If he were to get his extra padding, he's not the turn player. He went second in terms of choosing if he wanted a green card or not. So if he were to get the extra padding, like I said, the bug player can't go back and say, okay, sure, now I'll get bashing shield. No, it doesn't work like that. As far to my understanding, it doesn't work like that. Now, extra padding is a counter to Bashing Shield in a way, because if he had 2 or 3 extra paddings in hand, he could play them all, and then Bashing Shield would only get rid of 1 extra padding, so he'd still have whatever other paddings are equipped it. There's Marksmanship. First time I've seen that card all game. Alright, so not much going on for his turn, but just an action. He does play Arm Hovercraft, just didn't see him. So went for the kill on Scrapnel. Barrage has not been damaged at all this game, so Megatron player has his work cut out for him this turn. And this video only started maybe like 20 seconds after my intro, so I feel like they're legit about to go to time, like very, very soon. Like very, very soon. Kind of surprising to see this matchup going to time. Okay, maybe not really. I'm just surprised in general. So Chop Shop probably be going in next. So let's see how hard he goes into this aimless. He one-shots the Chop Shop and probably going to deal three damage to Flame War. Yep, kills the Flame War, so he loses out. Henry loses out on an attack, which means unfortunately now what that put him in a position to do is make him attack with Megatron next turn, so then Barrage can go after Megatron again. Okay, he decided to put the 3 damage on Barrage. But either way, Barrage is going to be able to attack Megatron before the reverse. So flips Chop Shop to bot mode and attacks, and he will move the enforcement batons over. Now that play, if Henry happened to have another weapon out, enforcement batons triggers again because Chop Shop moves it over, which means the enforcement batons is put onto another character, triggering the effect again to the scrap of weapon. So, but it's not the case here. But Chop Shop will attack for maybe nothing. We'll see. Aimless has 3 defense so far. Tough 3 means he has 1 more flip and then 2 for the white in the situation. That's 4 defense, 5 defense, 6 defense. Chop Shop attacked for... Okay, attacked for 7. I guess looking at this could be a potential downside to Aimless. The fact that he's so sturdy and doesn't die. It's like, well, now your Megatron's exposed so much. So then if your opponent prioritizes, every character but Aimless, well then when it's Aimless versus the world, Aimless isn't doing much. And then plus when he dies, the game's over because that's your last character. So Callous Leadership, I wonder if Henry's playing that card. He probably is. He may not be. I don't know. I'm not 100%. But Megatron is a 8-star or higher leader, so he could play Callous Leadership to help further, putting Aimless into that range of being KO'd. So he plays 2 extra padding first, and then he plays Swindled. Interesting that he did it that way. But let's see if he plays another equipment. He does. He plays Armed Hovercraft. Kind of nice. So he might be good here. I mean, Megatron has, as I'm talking about this, by the way, they should be in time. But maybe they're just not calling it yet. Don't know. So Megatron's attacking with 8 into Chop Shop. Doing some shuffling here. Chop Shot defends for 2. And I think he lived. No, he doesn't live. Okay, he is KO'd. Now, if Henry can survive this turn. Oh, you know what? I have a feeling they're doing time procedures here. For some reason, my instinct is telling me that the way that they're pointing and things like that right now, because we're 3 minutes over on that 50-minute mark, because we're following the official organized play rules. And with 50 minutes in the round, again, they're clearly in time at this point. If you look at the timer or the time, yep. So I think they end up having a draw here, and at this point they're talking about plays they would have made to see who would have won. Now let's sit here and talk about that for a second. So the bug player has 2 ramming speeds, Peace Through Tyranny, and Mining Pick in hand. Now Mining Pick, the only play he had was to ramming speed one of the paddings, and then play Mining Pick. He would stack 2. Yep, and that's exactly, he's doing what I'm talking about. Yep. He has the right mindset for this. I mean, it's kind of obvious, too. It's not really hard to do here. So he's going to stack 2. He would have +3. So the Barrage would be at 8 attack, bold 3. Or bold 2, rather. But I feel like Megatron will survive. Like, Megatron only has 6 damage counters on it with 2 defense and tough 1. Megatron would survive here, and then everybody would stand, and then he'd send Aimless in at Barrage. I think if time weren't a factor, the Megatron deck actually would have won. So just calling that out like it is right now, it's nice to see Megatron hold up against bugs. Now, it's kind of obvious any deck that has a whole bunch of tough and direct damage is going to be a problem and a bad day for bugs, ideally. But again, it is nice to see something other than 3Y Prime, you know, take on bugs, nonetheless. Yep. Yeah, I think that's what they're sitting here doing. I'm continuing this video and continuing to talk to make sure that's what's happening. And like I said, the looking at the state of the game, the bug player is showing his hand willingly right now. So like I said, I think they went to time this round. But again, I will say they both went to top 4 anyway, so this draw didn't affect them too much. And I don't know if there are any deck lists posted or not, but if you go over to Team Gradelock's page, subscribe to them, shout out to them, real cool guys. I'm sure that Henry will do a deck profile for his deck if he already hasn't. I don't know. I'll have to look at his channel and see. But yeah. So with that, you know, as always, I appreciate you guys being here. Some things to look forward to. I'm hopefully gonna get 1 or 2 more deck profiles out before Gen Con. Again, Gen Con's coming up next week, so it's coming up very soon. So be aware of that. I will have the last 2 rounds for this tournament posted before I go to Gen Con. I remember last time, I think after Origins, I posted like 1 or 2 more tournament matches from the SDCC pack tournament after Origins. That was a mistake on my part. I should have made sure I got those videos out before Gen Con before Origins, because after Origins, everything changed anyway. So that's my bad. But yep, okay, the handshake, show of respect right there, and that'll be it. All right, guys, this is S. Akuma heading out. Peace.